When a child is born, the expectation is a blank slate, where parenting begins as an act of selfless love nurturing an independent life. But for a narcissistic parent, the infant isn't an independent life. They're a photo accessory and a mirror, existing primarily to reflect the parent's own image back to the world. This perspective changes how even the most basic needs are processed. A baby crying at 2 a.m. isn't heard as a call for help. It's felt as a glitch in the parent's comfort, a personal inconvenience that the parent wouldn't choose for themselves, and therefore shouldn't exist. This reaction stems from a state called ego extension. In the narcissist's mind, the child isn't a separate entity with their own needs, but a limb or an organ. This diagram shows how the parent's ego swallows the child's identity before it has a chance to form. As these tethers constrict, the infant's absolute dependency is transformed. It stops being a foundation for a bond and becomes the first tool for total control. This creates the parent's lifelong mantra: "You exist to make me look like a good person." From the very beginning, the child is forced to build their reality on this hollow foundation. Between ages 3 and 5, children reach a developmental milestone. They start asking why and testing their own independence. While most parents see this as growth, the narcissist sees a mini competitor. Every why feels like a direct challenge to their absolute authority. The conditioning begins through sheer scale. The parent towers over the toddler to make them feel small, granting affection only for silence and obedience, while punishing natural emotional outbursts as disobedience. By ages 6 to 12, as the child enters the world of school and hobbies, the narcissist's control tactics must adapt to an audience of teachers and peers. This sorting matrix shows how the parent manages the child's performance. The child is no longer a person. They are categorized based on how well they serve the parent's image. For the golden child, every success is hijacked. The parent claims the credit, using the child's achievements as a pedestal to elevate themselves. But the scapegoat is crushed by the parent's failures. Any perceived flaw in the family name is blamed on them, resulting in a total invasion of their privacy as a form of constant punishment. By the time the child enters their teenage years, their identity has been crowded out by these external roles. They aren't seen for their own personality, but for their utility, turning their childhood into a performance where the only goal is protecting the parent's public image. The teenage years, 13 to 19, represent a crisis of control. The natural pull toward a separate identity is a threat the narcissist cannot ignore. As the parent loses physical dominance, the child's transition toward adulthood is viewed as a betrayal. The useful trophy has mutated into a traitor. This is when gaslighting becomes the primary language of the home. By calling the teenager too sensitive or crazy, the parent forces them to doubt their own memory and feelings. The parent deliberately invades the teenager's safe spaces. Any moment of vulnerability or emotional breakdown isn't met with comfort. It's logged as ammunition to be used in the next argument. This swirling vortex represents the parent's ultimate suppression tactic, deliberately manufacturing a state of constant, disorienting emotional chaos. This chaos is designed to be exhausting. It leaves the teenager so depleted and self-doubting that the very idea of leaving or becoming independent feels impossible. Even when the child enters adulthood and moves away, the psychological framework of the relationship remains. This scale shows the debt framework. The parent sees an investment owing an unpayable debt for their upbringing's sacrifice. Love becomes a demand for gratitude. If the child calls for support, the parent hijacks the conversation back to their own victimhood. They may even offer well-meaning advice that subtly sabotages the child's career or relationships, ensuring they remain isolated and easier to influence. The tragedy of this life cycle is its consistency. From infancy to adulthood, the parent never saw the child as a person, only as a tool for their ego. In the end, the parent's unspoken mantra remains, "You will always belong to me." Recognizing this life cycle as a predictable, mechanical system of control strips the manufactured debt of its power. Once the adult child sees that the ledger was rigged from their very first breath, the weight of the obligation finally loses its grip.